He says, Nelly not a top 50 and is closer to a pop star. No longevity, and the only play that he gets are those old school hip hop stations that play easy to license top 40 hits from the early 2000s, respectfully. Not. Okay, this is what I'll say. And I know that, you guys don't want to hear me go down this rabbit hole. I was living in the 2000s and I remember listening to the radio heavily, and I was actually working in radio at that point. Nelly got way more play on hip hop radio than Eminem did. So I would say Eminem's closer to a pop star since we want to, go down that road. I mean, maybe the way Nelly kind of did things was a little off kilter to many quote unquote rapidy rap fans. But if you ask me who's the pop star between the two, I'm going with Eminem. I would say Nelly's more of a hip hop artist. At least he was getting played more by hip hop radio and hip hop DJs and hip hop settings. And he was doing hip hop features, but whatever.
I do find Eminem to be the superior MC to the two, but I do understand what you're saying.
Has Eminem ever did a feature on an R&B record?
Well, that's a fascinating question, but that's what I mean is it's like, well, that's not a rhythm question. That's a soul question.
Why is that? If he, of all these people that we have on this list here, Jay-Z clearly has been on an R&B record. You just talked about Kendrick on the Miguel record. Obviously, Nas has done it. Obviously, Tupac has done it. Biggie's done it. Only You. We've heard Wayne on a whole bunch of R&B records. Yeah, everybody on this list has been on an R&B record. Even the guy Rakim. Has Eminem ever been on an R&B record?
He wouldn't be who I would call either, Mike. Just, truthfully.
But I'm asking you, why hasn't this happened? No,
but what I'm telling you, too, is that if I was in artist executive role, like let's say it's 1999, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I can have Snoop, Nas, Jay, you know what I'm saying? Or Eminem. It's like, oh, well, boom, boom, bam. Well, it's like, well, let's go. Well, hold on. Well, let's go like viability, vibe, soul. You know what I mean? Like has this is my executive mind talking. It's like, no. I wouldn't pick him over those guys in that time period. Let's go like 5 years ahead. Ludacris, Nelly, Ja Rule. It's like, no, I wouldn't pick him over those guys to do a R&B record either. Like, what is the subject? Like, what about his subject matter makes you think that he's a viable category?
I'm going to ask you a serious question, Coop. What top flight rapper in hip hop has never been on an R&B feature? Come on now. We got to, like I say with Andre, man, what MC doesn't have a song with 3 verses? What top flight MC in hip hop does not have a feature on an R&B record in this culture?
I feel you, Mike. It's just it's a slippery slope, and I'm going to tell you what's slippery about it. No, let me explain to you why it's a slippery slope. Because the God only got 2 that I can think of, Mike, and that's the Jody Watley joint and the Truth Hurts joint.
I agree, but you know what? Like I said before, he comes from a whole different era, and he still
that was modern day times, Mike. And this is another thing too, and I've thought about this.
But he still has that. You still were able to name 2. Do you have any for him?
No, but listen to what I'm about to say. We got to stop giving maybe some of those older guys too much credit when they didn't evolve the way the next generation did, i.e. Nas, Jay, Snoop. It's like, no. I can look at Rakim and be like, well, no, fam, you should have done more than 2 like R&B features when you was coming back, because that was the thing to do then, and you were tied to Aftermath, and you're the God. I'm sorry, you want to know it? It would be 3, because the whole Streets of New York thing with Alicia Keys. So I guess he's got 3.
That was dope too. Now, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but again, you're asking for people to adjust. And, I think that's a different thing than somebody who actually came up in the game when it was already the thing to do.
No, Mike, you're asking a viable question. And so like calling that out, I don't think that there's anything like unrealistic or problematic about you highlighting that or pointing that out. Because to be that high, we don't want there to be cracks or flaws like when you're number 5 or when you're number 2. And so you putting that forth is a valid assertion.
And for us to feel like, again, that there are certain rules for a certain individual that don't apply to everybody else. Like, I mean, Nelly is on Where the Party At for Jagged Edge. Made that a hit. Like, that was the thing to do in that era that these MCs came up in, where it was like, you had to have that R&B feature where you spazzed out on, you know, a record like
this
Jay
is what
did
I mean
on the
too.
Maya's
Oh, you
Best
want to
of
know
Me.
what? Rakim got 4 actually, Mike. Rakim is on Claude Debussy's The Art of Noise.
You remember when LL jumped on that Mary J. Blige remix? That shit's fire.
I was actually thinking about Nas and DMX on Sincerity. I was like, man, they murdered that joint.
007 with the super chat says, dig deeper when you have time and go analyze the teams that MJ beat on his way to the finals compared to LeBron's. It's not even a conversation. Now, I will give you that, 007. The Eastern Conference was pretty weak during LeBron's, tenure for the most part. Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, any team with Vlade as a number one option is not a great team. And Mike also had the best two-way player, best defensive power forward, best shooter, BJ and Kerr, and best coach, and best Euro, and the best Euro.
Fam, know your history. James Worthy led that team in scoring. Magic was second. Byron Scott was third. Sam Perkins was fourth. Vlade was fifth on that team in scoring at 12 points a game. Yeah. They had hitters.
KC1 with the super chat says, I see LeBron and Jay-Z as the same. They want to tell everyone that they're the best, but we all know, we all seen with our eyes MJ and Nas. We're going to get to JB being number one too, by the way. Let's see. Rasir Gomez says, David Stern and the referees gave the Bulls the 93 Eastern Conference Finals versus the Knicks. We were up 2-0, and then the refs happened. And I'm a Bulls fan.
Fam, Mike happened.
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, where is Ja on your list, guys? Did you implement him yet? We haven't yet. We haven't activated Ja yet. But, again, we'll add qualifiers to why we do or if we don't, Mad Max says, James Harden and CP3 took that KD team 7. Y'all gassing that KD Warriors, Shaq, and Kobe would smoke that team in 5. Now, I do think that Shaq and Kobe team would have beaten the Warriors. But again, that's Shaq and Kobe. LeBron ain't have no Shaq.
Which Shaq and Kobe team? Not the first one.
I would say 2000, 2001.
That's the first one. No, I don't think the first one would have. Maybe the second or the third one. Not the first one. First one would have got their ass whooped.
What you mean the first one? Which one? What are you talking about?
Didn't the first one the Pacers, right? Didn't they win the first one against the Pacers?
They did, and then they beat the Sixers.
Shaq got hurt, right?
It was the Pacers, then the Sixers, then the Nets.
Right, because Shaq got hurt against the Pacers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And they would have lost the series right fucking there.
They definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. Kobe not doing that. No, Kobe not doing that against that team. Not against that team. That's what I'm saying. Like, people forget history and how it happened. No, Shaq got hurt. They losing that series right there.
Who from Golden State would guard Shaq or Kobe?
The same way nobody else could guard Shaq or Kobe. They actually had enough people to score with them, unlike everybody else. That would actually be a series. I would pay to watch that. Yeah. Shaq would average like 45 and 30.
Yeah,
he would put up Wilt numbers.
They had nobodies for him because they were small. And that small ball's not going to work against Shaq.
No. 45 and 30. Easy 45 and 30.
Yeah, they were too small. Mad Max
they have nobody. But there's nobody, Mike. Just like there's nobody in history that can, like, in the post stop Shaq. There's nobody like that can guard Kevin Durant, like including Kobe.
You know what? The way you're talking about Kevin Durant, man, they better win this championship this year.
Kobe even said that. Kobe put Kevin Durant as one of the 5 toughest players he ever had to guard. He only had to play against him like 3 or 4 years, Mike. Even Kobe said that shit.
Well, I mean, I think long shooters were difficult for Kobe. I mean, he also said same thing with T-Mac and Melo, too.
Same guy. I mean, McGrady and Kevin Durant are the same guys, just Kevin Durant's taller.
Yeah. Mad Max in the super chat says the only reason that KD's Steph team ran the league is because the teams were playing against including LeBron's team, had low IQ playing AAU one guy dominant ball, and the rest just stand in the corner. I can't refute that because there's a lot of that going on. Eric Terrell with the super chat says Childish
Not their fault.
Gambino, should he be on the list? I don't think Childish Gambino as an MC did enough.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, he was doubling his efforts through acting, singing sometimes, but as far as like as a rapper, I don't think he did enough. Gary Pierce with the super chat says practically all the NBA records are Wilt and someone else. Stop capping and disrespecting Wilt. I feel you, man. I can never disrespect Wilt. Wilt's that guy. Jay Short with the super chat says those teams Jordan beat to get to the finals with one Hall of Famer were no better than the teams that LeBron beat. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Let's see. I think we got a couple more. Inspector with the super chat says Kyrie been a head case for 7 years. He not trying the ball.
He's not.
We stand on two opposite ends when it comes to Kyrie. I'm rooting for him. I hope he wins. And Coop seems to not feel Kyrie.
No. I hope that he wins, Mike. I just know what's going to happen because I've been paying attention.
Jay Short.
I don't know what everybody else been doing.
Jay Short with the super chat says, looking at this list, Rakim is the only rapper whose resume and reputation is impeccable. Even Nas and Jay have detractors and haters. Rakim has none. Rakim stands alone, definitely. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Akon, Smack That, featuring Eminem. Is that his R&B feature?
There you go, Mike.
That's trash. Is that even an R&B song?
No, that is.
Is it? I don't know,
Akon.
Man. Akon's an R&B artist, but that's not an R&B song.
No, Mike. Here's why I'm going to tell you that because that got played on Black Radio.
Did it?
You know it.
Locked Up got played. Down
here.
Locked Up
got played heavy on Black TV.
Yeah.
Smack That was on Black Radio.
Was it? I don't think so, man.
Like it was. You need to stop that.
All right, let's look this up. We're doing a live show. Hold on. Smack That. And you know what? And if that's the record that he has to go to, that is trash. I'm sorry, man. It's very bad.
I didn't say it was good, Mike. I'm just telling you.
Let's see. I want to see what its chart position was. Smack That, Akon. You know, we want to deal in facts over here. You know what I'm saying? Akon. I was listening to some bars that I feel like Drake was giving Kendrick on that Her Loss album.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Let's see. Chart performance. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Where is it on the R&B charts? Okay. It was number 2 on the pop charts. On the R&B charts, it was number 34.
No, that's solid.
Is it? How you number
Mike,
2 on the pop?
No. Most of your favorite rappers' big features are like somewhere in that range if you'll go check.
Wait a minute. No. This is what I'm saying. If you're number 2 on the pop charts and you're number 34 on the R&B charts, it's a pop song.
But Mike, in order to be number 34 on the R&B charts, it's getting played on Black Radio.
Very little. But
it's getting played. You didn't ask how much. You said it wasn't getting played. If it made it to number 34, that means it was getting airplay, Mike.
Let me see for Jagged Edge where the party at, just for our listeners. You know, just to.
That's a banger, Mike. That's number 1 for the summer. That might have been the biggest banger that summer.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to put a qualifier out there for what it usually looks like when you're charting on the R&B charts in relation to
we'll see how where the party at did on the pop charts.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So it was number 1 on the hip hop and R&B charts, and it was number 3 on the pop charts.
So that's pretty big.
Yeah, but just like the other Eminem argument that I had when we were going through the charts, if you're high on the R&B and hip hop charts,
yes,
then you're going to be slightly lower on the pop charts. It only flips with Eminem's involved. Just like Smack That was way higher on the pop charts than it was on the R&B charts.
And that's true, but even by your own premise, you're not being fair because you just compared him to the person who you just called a few minutes ago the best pound-for-pound hitmaker in hip-hop. So why are you comparing his record to the best pound-for-pound hitmaker in hip-hop's records?
Well, should
Like
I
you're
go for another one?
no. Because listen, what I'm saying. You just said Nelly was the best hit maker, and then you went to one of his songs. You didn't go to nobody else. You went to your top. So
Well, no,
like,
I
go
was just
somewhere.
talking about R&B features. I mean, I could
That's
do
what I'm
Maya
saying. But
best
you
to
just
me.
said Nelly's the best hit maker, and you just said Nelly made that song.
He did. That was just the one that was the first one that came to mind. We were just talking
Of
about.
course it did. Was your favorite hit maker's biggest hit record?
Well,
Right.
if that's the R&B song that Eminem has,
like pull up. How about this?
What do you
Pull
want me to
up.
pull up?
Like this is what I mean. Pull up. What's that shit Jay did with Mariah Carey, Mike?
Are you talking about Heartbreaker?
Yeah. Pull that up.
Well, I mean that's Mariah though.
Nuh-uh. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, Mike.
I was thinking that you were gonna say like Toto and Biggie or something, but okay.
No. We can pull that up too. That was probably number 6 on the R&B charts and like number 40 on like the pop charts. Yeah. But you can check. I'll check. Can't You See?
Yeah, check. Can't You See? Or maybe 112 and Biggie.
Let's stick with Can't You See. We don't want to go too low.
Okay. Let's see. So with Mariah, and again, this is Mariah Carey, by the way. Yeah, she's number 1 on the hip hop and R&B charts, and on the pop charts is number 1 too. So I mean,
for Heartbreaker was number 1.
Yeah, it was number 1 on both. Yeah,
the Jay-Z version. Mm-hmm. It says featuring Jay-Z.
She won a box with Jay-Z. Yeah. She won a pillow fight in the middle of the night. Unless you want to do the one where she had the Brat and Missy in them.
No.
That song was dope.
No, it wasn't.
You ain't like that? That shit was dope.
I didn't.
Justin Jones with the super chat says Rakim did 2 records with Jody Watley. Facts, man. Rakim got more R&B features than M, and that was way before his era to even do that.
Okay, so Can't You See on the hot R&B and hip hop songs was number 11, but on the Billboard 100 it was 66.
See, that's it's normal, and that's a classic. And you'll go out tonight. It's a Friday night. You're gonna go in the clubs where people of color are at, and you're gonna hear "Can't You See." You ain't gonna hear "Smack That." Jonathan Coleman with the super chat says,
"I don't know about that, Mike.
Man,
I can't confirm or deny that, Mike. We're not outside. You can't confirm or deny that, Mike.
Bro, if I walk into a spot and they playing "Smack That," I'm making a U-turn out of that bitch. This is not the place I need to be at. If you got 2 venues, are you walking into the place that's playing "Can't You See" or the place that's playing "Smack That"?
You don't have any evidence, and quite frankly, I'm judging the establishment by the women inside it.
Okay, which women do you think are going to be more your speed? The one that's jamming the "Can't You See" or "Smack That"?
Mike, I've been around the world, and I.
Lord.
Women are funny, so you never know where they might be.
Shout out to my sisters out there. Jonathan Coleman with the super chat says, "What do you think, guys, about the Game and Ja Rule not making it on the top 50 list? I've been talking about the Game not being on there. What I think, since you want to say those 2 names specifically, it feels like an Interscope thing. Feels like the Game and Ja don't jive with some of the people that were on that list that are very high on the Interscope chain. That's what it looks like. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I think. What is this? Is it Benji? Shout out to you. Super chat. He says, M on rhythmic hip hop beats. Kanye Stir Crazy. DJ Spinner. 36 Hive. I'm sorry, 365. Neptunes Unreleased featuring Royce. And DJ Clue What the Beat featuring Method Man. Man, you gotta go.
What the Beat featuring Method Man. Yeah.
You know what, guys? If we gotta dig that tough, it's probably.
I like the professional part too. I actually think it might be better than part 1.
Really? Never heard anybody say that. Disagree.
Yeah, it's got Live from the Bridge on there. It's got the Jay over the Who Shot You beat on there. It's got the What the Beat Do on there.
Nah. It's not.
Yeah.
Nah, Casey.
What's on part 1 that you love so much, Mike, outside of Fantastic Four?
Well, it's got Fantastic Four. It's got if it's on its own, X. One of my favorite Nas records of that time period, Queens Niggas Rock Ice and Smoke Hydro. Keep P for the beef and never hide, Joe. Got that.
I like Live from the Bridge more. I think Live from the Bridge, his flow is more fluid.
Got the record with Ja and Jay. I understand why y'all niggas is mad at me, man. And then, not to mention the Missy record where they flipped that Special Ed record. They got the Kim record.
Too long.
No, they got the Kim record where it's got the Rakim flip, and it's another record that I'm missing that I really love from that album. Oh, Rough Riders Anthem remix. CJ Kid with the super chat says, at this point, Mike, I want to see you go bar for bar with Eminem. I'm rooting for you. I mean, Eminem's not going to go bar for bar with anybody. He needs to answer to this, the Black Slim Shady, first. I think that's why the game's not on the list, actually. It's the Black Slim Shady is what it is. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mike will do anything to make M jump through hoops for any qualifier. Can't do anything without a little bit of hate.
I'm going to listen to The Professional tonight. Part 1 and 2.
Professional's dope. Jay Short with the super chat says, you can't release 5 straight albums like Eminem has the past decade and a half and be top 5. He's tried everything and it won't work without a gimmick. I think that's fair too. I mean, at what point do we say, if you're continuously active and you haven't made a critically acclaimed effort in 21 years, it's like, does none of this drop the legacy any? I mean, these are forgettable albums. These are bad albums.
I don't know, Mike. We might have to Patreon the DJ Clue albums. I'm looking at Part 2's list with Redman's track Red, Live from the Bridge.
I'm down to do that, man. I love The Professional.
Back to Life of Mary J. Blige and Kiss starts off this album. Fantastic Four Part 2 is just as good to me. Coming for You with Beanie Siegel and Freeway. Ooh, yeah. I
like that record.
Yeah, I do too. All right, go ahead. The beat with Royce and Method Man? M with Top Notch Competition again. Rapping next to Top Notch Competition again.
How'd that turn out? I don't remember. It's not memorable. It's not. I forgot all about it.
It's on a Clue tape. You're not supposed to remember it like that. What do you remember from a Clue tape?
I remember Queen's Finest by Nas. I remember Gangsta Shit with Jay and Jai.
Nas and Jay. That's not fair. It's Nas and Jay. Of course,
I remember DMX.
Nas and Jay. You mean 1 and 2?
I remember DMX if it's on its own.
You mean the real 1 and 2?
I remember DMX if it's on its own.
It's X, Mike. It's prime X. Like, you need to stop that.
Always keep my enemies the closest. Always make sure I know where the toast is. Huh?
It's literally when he came out.